Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on back. In this one today, we are going to be ranking every perk in Modern Warfare 3 Zombies from worst to best. There isn't going to be any specific criteria for this list, so without a further ado, let's just jump right into it. Coming into our number 9 spot for the worst perk in Modern Warfare 3 Zombies, we have Death Perception. This perk isn't necessarily useless because you can use it to help you find loot boxes, or you can use it during the cargo contract to help eliminate the mercenaries, but other than those two uses, you don't really need this perk. It was helpful back in Cold War because you got extra salvage for using it, but there isn't a salvage system in Modern Warfare 3, so it doesn't really help you out all that much. There isn't a perk limit, so it doesn't put you at a disadvantage for running this perk, but out of all the perks in this game, I find Death Perception to be the most useless, so for that, I have to put it at the number 9 spot. Moving into our number 8 spot, we have Elemental Pop. This perk is fairly useful. It can be nice to get a churned or a shatter blast effect, but since it is random, it's not something you can always rely on. Without the upgrades from Cold War zombies either, it doesn't make this perk viable to run in the higher tier zones, and with certain alternate ammo types that aren't that good like Cryo Freeze, it doesn't make this perk very effective whenever it does activate. This is usually one of those perks that I get last because it isn't necessary to have, but it is nice to have that extra bit of firepower, especially for tier 3, where the damage of your weapon just isn't enough sometimes to kill the zombies. Overall, an alright perk, but not one of the best. Next up on our list, at our number 7 spot, we have Jugg. It sucks to see Jugg on a perk ranking list to be this low, but with Modern Warfare 3 systems, I just can't put it higher up on the list. Armor is much more valuable than health in this game, and without the upgrades that you can get in Cold War zombies, it just doesn't give you much. To make things even worse, the zombies' damage increases the closer you get towards the center. In tier 3, you can get downed in a few hits with Jugg and no armor, but if you have armor and no Jugg, you can take a lot more hits from the zombies. The Mega Abominations also slow you down if you don't have armor, so it's just never a viable option to only have Jugg and no armor. So for that, I have to put it at the number 7 spot, because it doesn't really help you out all too much. Still a pretty good perk though, it is nice to have, but just not one of the best. Now coming into our number 6 spot, we have PhD. This perk does help a lot with certain guns like the grenade launcher and the ray gun, but that's kinda it. The flop is really only useful in tier 1 and is completely useless in tier 3. I'm gonna put it above Jugg, however, because depending on what gun you use, it can be a required perk to have. I will say this version of PhD is the most fun to use because in previous games, in order to do the explosion effect, you'd either have to dolphin dive off a tall building or cliff, or slide from a certain height, but in this game, you get the best of both worlds, where you're still able to slide, and you can dolphin dive whenever you want to explode, which is very nice. But for most situations, it isn't the best perk that you can use, so for that, I have to put it at the number 6 spot. Coming into our number 5 spot, moving into the good perks now, we have Quick Revive. This perk is really useful because it makes you regenerate health a lot faster, which is incredibly useful in tier 3 because of how fast the zombies hit you and move towards you. You also have the added bonus of being able to revive your teammates a lot faster, but with self-revives, that main effect of Quick Revive isn't that helpful because you can tap your teammates for a second to revive them if they have a self-revive like I said before. At the same time though, when you're playing with 6 people like how you can in Cold War, it makes it possible to revive your teammates more frequently, which does make this perk a lot more helpful in some situations like for the Red Worm boss fight. But I'm still going to put this perk high up solely because of the faster health regeneration. Moving into our number 4 spot, we have Deadshot. This perk is really solid regardless of your strategy. The increase in headshot damage is really useful, and being able to have a tighter pellet spread is also really nice to have in this game because most of the meta weapons in Modern Warfare 3 Zombies are dual wield like the Tire pistols and the Wasp SMGs, and having that extra bit of hipfire accuracy is nice to have. Deadshot in previous games was always seen as a useless perk, but ever since they did the rework for it back in Black Ops Cold War and removed the perk limit, Deadshot has proven to be a really reliable perk that you should run every single game. Next up, at our number 3 spot, we have Stamina Up. These top 3 perks that I'm going to discuss are the must-have perks for Modern Warfare 3. You literally cannot play the game effectively if you aren't running these 3 perks. Stamina Up does something very simple, yet it is so effective, especially in the tier 3 zone, where the zombies can sometimes move faster than you if you don't have this perk. Not only is it important to have in tier 3, but it's also just important to have in general, because the map is so big. Modern Warfare 3 Zombies is advertised as the largest map ever released in COD Zombies, and having that extra bit of mobility is really nice to have. Overall, a really solid perk that is important to run every single game. Now, coming to our number 2 spot, we have Speed Cola. This perk is helpful for 2 reasons. The first is the main effect that everybody knows about, which is to reload your guns faster. This is really helpful because, again, having that extra bit of mobility in the tier 3 zone can be really helpful. But where this perk really shines and why I'm putting it at the number 2 spot is because of its second ability, which is to put on armor plates much faster. It doesn't sound that important, but putting on armor plates in this game is really slow, and armor is the number 1 most important thing to have when doing anything in this mode. So while reloading your gun faster can be really helpful in a lot of situations, the real reason this perk is making it to the number 2 spot is because of that second ability, which allows you to put on armor faster. Really helpful perk, and definitely one that you should run every single game. And coming into our number 1 spot, I can't believe I'm saying this, it's Tombstone. I never in a million years would ever put Tombstone high up on a perk ranking list, but in Modern Warfare 3 Zombies, this perk is game-changing. What Tombstone does in this mode is when you die or leave the game and you load into a new game, you keep all of the weapons, points, and anything that you had stored in your stash while in the previous game. It pretty much acts as an alternative to exfilling, which is really useful and incredibly broken in a lot of cases. What makes this perk the best in this entire game mode, however, is the glitch that is currently going around, where you can double the amount of points you have in each game, and you can repeatedly do this until you have hundreds of thousands of points. It's ridiculous. As of recording this video, this glitch is still in the game. They will most likely be patching Tombstone glitching soon, but as it stands right now, Tombstone is a must-have perk and is deserving of the number 1 spot. Anyways, guys, it's going to wrap up this video for today. If you did enjoy, leave a like, subscribe, do all that. Leave your comments down below if you want to see me do any other type of videos. Check the description as well for more zombie-related videos. And yeah, I got nothing much else to say, so peace.